I mean, you can't even make money if you don't even get orders as a DoorDash Dasher, right? That's why, don't worry, in this video, I have 7, it's a lot, reasons why you might not be getting orders. Number 1, maybe the most apparent, but you're not going to know this if you're new. You're driving on the worst days and times quiz for you right now. Don't even think about it. Answer this down below in the comments. What's the worst day to drive? And I guess combined with the worst time. You gotta know that. So answer that down below. And Thursday through Sunday, statistically, we've seen this from multiple companies here, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, that's the busiest time. Well, I should say day, because when it comes to time, like 5 p.m. until 9 p.m., that is the meat of the dinner rush. So if you're driving super early a.m., and if that's the only time you can drive, that's when you can drive. Or the lunch rush, or those weird in-between times, you'll still get orders, but you might not get a lot of orders. So you're just sitting there. Number 2, because I'm honest with you here, if you're driving in a suburban zone, like a rural zone, chances are you're not going to get orders. And I think the thesis here is like, I'll get some orders, but is it worth it? Because am I sitting there for 5, 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes just waiting for something? You're really going to have to weigh your marketplace. How long am I waiting? Like 5 minutes decent, 8 minutes and 10 minutes plus, it might not be worth it. So that's why you're not getting orders, because there's nothing else really around you. Number 3, comment down below if you think this is a little surprising. I think it might be, especially if you're new, or frankly, if you've been doing DoorDash for a while, you might not even have had this. So comment down below. But if there's a glitch and you didn't even realize it, that's why you're not getting orders. So what do? Now, I've driven on DoorDash for years in different marketplaces, and I've had several glitches that affected like nationwide the Dasher platform. So what do? This is why, number 1, you need to multi-app, get activated right now. It's free, so you can go on other apps, Grubhub, Uber Eats, or different niches entirely. Now, to check this, I would look at Twitter, if you're in any Discord groups, and or maybe Reddit, or you can just Google it, maybe websites like Down Detector, to see if there's an actual glitch, because you're just sitting there, nothing's happening. And by the way, typically from what I've seen, DoorDash doesn't pay you their Dashers. It's like, sorry, there's a glitch. You're not going to get compensated. Drop a like on this video at this point if you're getting value. I just want to give you a heads up. We actually have an Excel sheet to track some of your numbers, or numbers if you're on Mac OS. Consider picking that up at yourdrivermight.com, or if you just want the fast track for best practices for how to dominate food delivery apps, take our course, Mastering Delivery. But number 4, something that gets ignored, and this pertains to really any of these phone apps and gigs here. It's your phone, it connected to a local shared Wi-Fi spot. So a power strip, what is that? Another quiz, I guess. Comment down below. But if you don't know, that's what we call an area that's really dense with restaurants. You know, like a little strip mall. It can be a section of road, maybe not a mall. I don't know. It depends on your expertise. A power strip. So if you also work at that Dunkin', that Starbucks, what have you, and your phone pings and connects because you're parked on the street right next to it, that could really slow down your connection, because obviously everyone else in that facility is using that Wi-Fi. And then also kind of stands to reason it's related to this, but if your phone has a weak connection, not just the Wi-Fi, but just LTE as well, then obviously if your phone can't make a connection, you might not be getting orders. Number 5, that's similar to rural markets, but it's a little different because this can affect you in a city center as well. It's if you're in a dead zone. So we just talked about power strips, which are what? Yes, good retention there. Good job. But if you're in a dead zone, like you think it's a power strip, but it's actually only one restaurant, and then you forgot that they don't open yet until 5 for dinner, then there's not a lot around you. And again, this doesn't have to be in rural zones. You can be in a decent part of the city, but it is a dead zone in the city. Not a huge one, just consider that. Number 6. So you know the Top Dasher program, like you have to hit certain metrics and you can qualify for being able to go online at any time. So if you don't have Top Dasher, then you can only dash now, which is, just going online immediately without a scheduled shift, if that market segment is red, indicating that's busy enough. But Top Dashers don't have to do that. Top Dashers can go online in gray zones when it's not obviously red. But why would you want to do that? So my warning to you is, don't go online as a Top Dasher in those gray zones unless you've done your research that it's actually worth it to go online in gray zones. Because remember, gray zones communicate what? It's not busy enough. They don't need dashers. So this either means there's enough dashers and or there's not a lot of customers placing orders currently. Now, you can use Top Dasher to go online in these gray zones if you think that saturation is the reason it's gray, insofar as there's enough dashers. And there's a lot of dashers because there's probably a good bonus pay, the peak pay for that time slot. But that's going to be up to you and your market expertise, because it is 100% gray for a reason. So do your research, because you might not get orders if you're going online with Top Dasher in a gray zone. Number 7, that is absolutely, it's going to happen to you. This is why I'm telling you this stuff. Again, drop a like on this video, consider subscribing, check out those resources. Again, link down below. This is going to happen. So if you get an order request, right, on our new screen, by the way, make sure to click the card, watch that video after this one, understand that new screen. What do you do if you don't like it, right? You don't like the order request. You're going to do 2 things. Well, 3 things, I guess. Accept it. I don't know why you'd accept it, so ignore that. But you're going to decline it by clicking the X or just, letting the timer run out. Now, what can happen sometimes, listen to this, if you let that timer run out, for whatever reason, I've heard from dashers that will force you into a paused dash. So you can pause a dash, as you probably know, for 35 minutes at really any time. It's going to stop the orders coming in. But if you ignore it, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes if you ignore it and the timer runs out, it might just push you into a pause dash, because DoorDash is like, well, you didn't put an input, especially multiple times, 2 or 3 times, you let that timer run out. They're going to push you into a pause dash because they're not getting any inputs from you. If you didn't notice that, if you're doing something else or whatever, you're distracted, you might not notice that you got timed out. So again, if you're sitting there for like 8 minutes, something should be coming in. Just check your dash there. Just make sure you're still online. And hey, number 8 bonus here for you. It's going to feel like you're not getting orders at all if you basically, like blacklist or auto decline a certain type of orders. So what I'm saying is, if for whatever reason, I don't want to do DashMart runs, or if you're like, I don't want to do shop and deliver, I don't want to do grocery. If you don't want to do anything other than food delivery, it would actually be nice if they had a filter. Now that I think about it, right? Comment down below if you'd like to filter out by order type. There you go, DoorDash was a free idea for you. But if you're auto declining in your head certain orders, it's going to feel like I'm not getting enough good orders. In this example, just the restaurant orders. So considering that, if you want to know which scenarios and or orders you should actually decline, click the card here or tap the screen right here to see that video, as well as a new video recommended for you on the channel. Again, drop a like if you got value, and I'll see you in the next one.